In this lesson, I'm going to show you different ways to select things. Now, of course, I think we're all used to going through our paragraph here and selecting things just by dragging it out. And that's pretty good for most of the things we want to do, but occasionally we want to select things that are not touching each other, such as these items, and change the size of it or the font of it, or occasionally we want to do some other things with it. And so here are a few different ways to select different items. Number one, of course, is dragging it out. Number two is we can start out our selection by clicking where we want it to start. If we hold down our Shift key and select where we want it to end, it'll select everything in between those two spots. Now, the great feature about this is when you're using something like Microsoft Excel, where you drag it down and you're trying to select a certain amount of cells and you end up on cell 65,354. Well, this is a better way of doing that, just by clicking on cell number 1, holding down the Shift key, and clicking at the end. So another way of selecting different items is using the Control key. So I can select heading 1, hold down the Control key, and select heading 2 or heading 3, and select multiple headings and change them all at once. And that's with the Control key. It'll allow you to select words that are not touching each other. So there are other ways to do different selections here, though. For instance, if I want to select a word, what I can do is I can double click on a word and it'll select it. If I want to select a paragraph, I can triple click on the paragraph and it will select the whole paragraph. On the left side here, we have what's called a selector column. So I can click line by line using this selector column to choose my different lines. Or in this case, let's say I want to go the heading, and I can use that Control key once again to scroll down here and select the different headings. So that's another way of selecting these different items. If I want to get real picky with what I'm doing, is I can click on here, hold down the Shift key, use the up and down arrows and the left and right arrows to select individual items. Could make it a little easier for me to select this. Another thing to note too is when you're selecting different words in here, it'll automatically select the whole word going forward, but going backwards, it'll select letter by letter. So if you're getting frustrated because it's trying to select the whole word, just go backwards. Now, of course, that is also an option that you can turn off if you go under Word Options. Those are a few different ways, though, we can select different items on our page.